we not gonna be painting it like black nationalism is the same as white nationalism, because it's not. One is practiced, and when it's practiced, it leads to utter death, destruction, and genocide. And then the other one is a damn theory.
Keeps on spinning. Keeps on spinning. Keeps on spinning. Keeps on spinning.
What's the deal? We back. You feel me? Me and Cuz up in this motherfucker, chocolate in the sun. And today we talking about the black establishment. Um, we go try something a little bit new with this. You know what I'm saying? I done found me a new feature on this motherfucker. Uh, so we go kind of play the clip that inspired us to go ahead and talk about this subject. And then, per usual, we're going to go over the questions that we're addressing in the prompt, go over our answers, have some intermittent discussion, and then go ahead and wrap this up. We don't want to take all day, but we do want to give y'all some unique perspectives that you can attach yourself to, or at least kind of act as a springboard as you form your own thoughts and opinions on black establishments, how to pursue them, how long we think it would take to create them, so on and so forth. Do you have anything you want to add? I mean, this clip did come from you. If you want to give a backdrop on it, who this creator is, or anything like that.
I say play the tape, play the tape. Then you feel me? I'll let you know who it is, what it is, and what it ain't.
All
But
right.
I believe it's from the Grits and Eggs podcast.
It's that one. It's that one.
Okay,
But anyway,
it's definitely the Grits and Eggs. You feel me? Yeah.
Okay, we gonna get into it.
And now we done got to your grandma how old?
Should be 80.
You ever seen a white person in your grandma's house?
No.
Me neither. Can you even fathom that? Like, your grandma's house was a safe space for you as a kid. I ain't never seen no white people. My grandma went on Section 8 and shit like that. I ain't never seen no white folks at my grandma's house. Never seen no white people come in my mama's house. Y'all done got to a place where y'all so comfortable, y'all just treat the intruders like they're guests. Move out the way of white folks when you see them in public. Eye a nigga down when you see him in public. We need to put some reverse action into that. We should be greeting each other with a smile. We should be greeting each other with love. We should be making sure we don't need no help. Huh? Do you need anything? Can I help you with something? It should be love when we see each other. And I don't want to hear no shit about, oh, no, niggas. Niggas do this, niggas do that. Oh, niggas walk around mugging all day. Them people used to hang you. Them people got legislation to dump toxic chemicals in your neighborhood. These people created food deserts in your neighborhood. Gentrifying your neighborhood. Redline your neighborhood. Deny access to capital in your neighborhood and your people. And you sit around and take postcard pictures with you strung up from a fucking tree. And you want to talk about what niggas do? You don't give that kind of grace to niggas. White person come around, oh yeah, excuse me, sir. How you doing? Excuse me. There's an expectation that you can act a fool in front of your people, but you'll be respectful in front of white people. We need to reverse that. You should lead with respect with your people first. The same respect that you would have if a white person walked in and you want to straighten up, have that type of respect and dignity when your people in the room. And understand that the comfortability that comes with community mean you can cut up. My mom used to tell me all the time, don't go to school embarrassing me in front of them fucking white people. I used to be like, why the fuck would you? But I get it now. I understand it. I don't repeat those sentiments to my children because white approval, that ain't at the top of my priority list. Nigga, you embarrassing me.
I can go ahead and give a little bit more context. So the Grits and Eggs podcast is hosted by Big Ice Cup, Big Cat, and Deontay Kyle. I came across the podcast like I want to say in August sometime. It was around episode 29. I had listened in on it, and it's a podcast where Black thought is kind of spoken of. They love all Black people unconditionally. As long as you're part of the 13%, you're cool. I can't go as far as saying that. I don't want to say it like that and insinuate that they don't love anybody else, because I'm sure that they do. But the messages and the themes that's spoken about are directed towards the 13%. That's their intended audience. Um, Not really none of you other folks. But we love y'all still over here. I'm sure they love y'all over there. We just not really talking to y'all. That's really it. And that's kind of what that clip was. It was talking about fucking white respectability politics and how we've been forced to maneuver through this society with these already set rules in place and expectations placed upon us to
Mm-hmm.
be respectable for white folks. That's not how this shit going. Not for me, at least.
Niggas putting their foot in the ground.
I'm telling you, foot in their ass. Fuck the ground.
All right. So per usual, I'm gonna go read off the prompts that we're gonna be discussing. So as you know, just the main topic is black establishments. So the first question that we had to discuss is, when you hear the term black establishment, what do you think of? And then that one is followed by, are black establishments worth pursuing? And then that one is followed up by, how would we pursue them? And lastly, we have the question, how long do we think they take to pull off? Which isn't something that really would require us to write down, because I mean we can all give a ballpark quick answer on how much, depending on what we said we would need to do to actually pursue them. So also per usual, Cuz go take the floor and go ahead and give his first answer.
For sure. So for the question, what is a black establishment? What comes to mind when I hear the term black establishment is simply a group or entity that's comprised of black people. Um, Whether that's a business or just a group, or I don't want to go as far as saying fraternity or sorority because there's shit going on with you niggas, but for real. Um, Unfortunately, in more ways than not, these entities or groups kind of do the same thing that their white counterparts do, or they have certain messaging and themes that's intentional. In a lot of instances, it's sometimes anti-black, or it's pro-black, but it's really just pro-capitalism painted over with Negroes. And I do think that's kind of what the larger conglomerate of black establishments are now. What I would like the term black establishment to mean, though, um, is definitely I don't want to go as far as saying a collective consciousness because that's never realistic, but a collective understanding amongst all black people that we should love each other unconditionally. That's like what an ideal black establishment looks like to me. And I feel as if that's one of the main themes or points that it should be comprised of. And I know black is right isn't always the best mindset to have, especially approaching a lot of things which could be harmful. But I feel like a drastic, stark difference from what we've already been experiencing in this anti-black society that we forced to maneuver through. I feel like something drastically or an opposing force to that wouldn't be harmful at all. That's kind of what my take is on the black establishment
Okay.
as far as what it
Um
means. What about
to
yourself?
I think you made some good points. That kind of dips into what I was saying just a little bit. To kind of piggyback off the point that you made about saying that just because something is black or because these people are black that it's right or whatever. I do want to highlight the very, very, very obvious flaw that comes with a lot of black nationalist rhetoric. I'm not finna get into the. We not gonna be painting it like black nationalism is the same as white nationalism, because it's not. One is practiced, and when it's practiced, it leads to utter death, destruction, and genocide. And then the other one is a damn theory, because Lord knows if they ever actually try to do that shit, somebody or something has to die or get fucked up so it doesn't actually come to fruition. If that wasn't the case, Haiti would be doing pretty fucking good. Jamaica would be doing pretty fucking good. And when Zimbabwe broke off from all the white people, they wouldn't have had to make a fucking $1 million bill because inflation was that fucking crazy. Okay? All right. And then I think the other point that we also have to get into regarding that of just because something is black isn't necessarily good is not all black people are going to think the same. I know when we do these dream picture perfect scenarios, we all want to sit here and be of the belief that all black people think the same, but they don't. There are
Yeah, not on
certain
my mind.
regressive ideologies that we cannot have in black establishments. It's a reason why they say a little bit of yeast will fuck up a whole barrel. That is why. I hate to say it. Yes, we want to be pro black, but we have to identify that within the black community, there are sectors of people who have regressive beliefs and regressive ideologies that we either have to correct or we have to denounce and get rid of in order to survive. If we talking about black establishments and we talking about shit being pro black, and I'm gonna get into all my other shit, but you cannot have certain ideologies if you actually want this shit to work. I'm just being honest. So back to the question at hand. When you hear the term black establishment, what do you think of? When I hear the term black establishment, I think of both an independent black society and smaller establishments made for and by black people. These could be colleges, hospitals, or entire communities. I kept it pretty simple, pretty basic. This is just so we can both give the backdrop as we're answering these
Mm,
other questions. What are we thinking of when we hear this? Because I don't want to deter what Cuz is thinking because he can say, I think a black establishment is this. And then as he's going through these questions, he can end up in a completely different place that nobody might have been to before, or it might be to a similar conclusion, a place that you are at. And then I want to do the same with me so that the same could be true for somebody that's listening and they kind of attach themselves to what I'm saying. Um, do you want to explain any more about that, or do you want to go on to the are black establishments worth pursuing, which I think is going to be kind of the bulk of the conversation?
for sure. I don't really have too much to say surrounding the initial prompt, but I can hop right into our black establishments worth pursuing. In my honest opinion, I feel like they're needed. I don't want to go as far as saying black establishments themselves, but community oriented black establishments. Like if there's going to be a food drive, or if there's the local Boys and Girls Club that happens to have predominantly black kids there, that's definitely needed. And those resources are definitely appreciated as someone who was a beneficiary of some of those same efforts. It's made a notable difference in my upbringing for shit sure. I don't know I don't know what my afternoons would have been like if I wasn't either at my grandparents' house or at the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm thankful for those initiatives for sure. Um, but as far as TT's tax services that do the same thing that Jake's tax services does, and calling it, you feel me, something totally different and extremely beneficial to the community itself,
Yeah.
when there's other people that already do it and you still taking that same 20% premium that Jake
Mm-hmm.
is charging, I feel like that's just as harmful and predatory practices for shit sure. I think that there's problems that need to be addressed first before we go ahead and just try to build black establishments on this elaborate house of cards that's already starting to fucking fall down. We starting to see the cracks through this shit a lot more than ever. Um, and I think just building on top of this isn't necessarily the right approach. What the right approach is, I'm not too sure yet. I feel like there's been a lot of obstacles that's been put in place before us.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of all just moved on from those places or those different events that took place. I feel like like Deontay Kyle said, I think it was some episodes before then, but we need to reach back in the rubble and kind of look for them gems that we left over, and it's going to be lessons in those same mistakes that were made earlier. I feel like if we wait too long, we won't be able to hear the perspectives of the people that were actually there. And it's been so not talked about for so long. It's more so like, yeah, you just got to work 2 times as hard three times as faster than them, and you might get a piece of the pie, and that's not sustainable. I
Mhm.
seen that shit wasn't working when we was little niggas, and I'm an adult now.
Yeah.
But yeah, how do you feel about black establishments? Are they worth pursuing?
Uh, man, my answer is honestly complex. I feel like yours is a little bit complex, but mine is pretty complex, kind of for the same reasons. But I think mine
Mhm.
is the way that you took it. I really, really, really do like it. I really appreciate it because I didn't think about places like the Boys and Girls Club, which the one that we went to in Lansing on the South Side was definitely predominantly black. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's the first time I ever had beef with a girl.
This nigga
Doris.
crazy,
That
bro.
motherfucker took my computer, dog. I'm on there trying to
Nigga
play
funny as hell.
Madden. You feel me? The one with Vic on the cover. Boy, I got demoed on my computer. I said, oh, damn. You feel me? But those type of establishments, it's crazy that you said that. I didn't even that's crazy. I had a blind side to such a thing. And this is why I want to set things up like this because when we have community oriented drives, initiatives, and programs, they are undoubtedly beneficial and worth pursuing. Can they be difficult to do? Absolutely. Depending on the time era, let's say like when the Black Panthers tried to do or did free health clinics and breakfast programs for children, they were worth pursuing. The timing and what I'm gonna get to later, certain factors just literally made it damn near impossible or at times not even worth pursuing because as soon as you did some shit, they was gonna knock it down and fuck over the lives of everybody involved. So, to get into it, the question, are black establishments worth pursuing? Great read. In my opinion, it depends on the establishment, the founders, and where we are as a country. I am of the belief that most black establishments will fail under capitalism as they never get the funding or support they need to succeed. That is not a arguable position. I'm gonna just keep it all the way 1,000 with you. White institutions are made to be bigger, better, and last longer. Capitalism is an economic system where the weak die off and the strong conquer. Black institutions in this country have either suffered greatly or have been destroyed either directly or indirectly by those outside of our race due to them viewing our institutions as a threat. I do not believe we are in the proper place to produce establishments in a way in which they'd actually survive and be fruitful. So, in most instances, I would actually say no. The issue I have with black establishments and the pursuit of it is that it doesn't correct the overarching issues of society. The same reason Lil Cuz to sell your mama a sack is the same reason Jay-Z will raise your rent 50% a year in a black society. Niggas got a taste of the tea and they don't want to let it go. If you tell most black people the only way to build a truly pro-black establishment is to denounce capitalism, be accepting of the LGBTQ plus, reject patriarchy as a romantic default, be accepting of new ideologies and progressive values, and live in a way that everyone around you benefits from you and you are also benefiting from them and everybody is intermingled and the work that one person doesn't do affects the work that the next person do. Most people run for the fucking hills because they don't want that. That's not what they seen. And I think it's pretty reasonable. If we seen white people live in a certain type of way where they don't have to be all the way self-reliant on each other, even though wink wink, they're self-reliant on the bottom portion of the fucking country being the bottom portion of the fucking country. So they are in fact reliant on you. They just don't acknowledge it directly and they act like they got everything out the fucking mud. In turn, I believe if we corrected certain issues, which I'll get into on the next question, black establishments may not even be as necessary as we think. Now, that is with me saying there are differences between racial discrimination, biases, whatever the fuck, and economic issues. Yes, under capitalism, under white supremacist capitalism, that shit is one big ass ball.
They
right?
overlap for sure.
They overlap. Now, if you start to break shit down, if you start to fix shit and correct shit, what turns from a big ass ball starts to break down. Then you can say, well, I know we got these four issues. How can we address these four issues? But I'm gonna get into that on my next point, as far as how to pursue them. But I did just want to say that I am pro black establishment, believe it or not. I'm not pro capitalism. I'm not pro exclusionary ideologies when it comes to black people. When I said we have to get certain regressive behaviors out, I 1000% mean we have to get capitalism out. We can't have a society. Y'all niggas love this. I ain't even I'm not gonna get into that. But y'all niggas love to say y'all love this black shit. You can't say that and you want to make all of your fucking money off of people that work harder than you. That's
They don't know what
bullshit.
peak capitalism is.
You
I
can,
ain't
man.
gonna lie.
You
Insert clip.
cannot,
You're crazy.
bro.
Yeah.
You cannot say this shit and then on the next breath be trying to fuck people over, be trying to exclude people that look just like you because they don't believe everything that you believe. I'm gonna let you take the floor. Do you have any more questions? Just about that point that I made. I mean, well, of course, keep it limited because I know some of it is gonna tie into the next one. But like, was there anything that stood out that you kind of want to talk about real quick before we get into how we
What
would
I
pursue
did,
them?
what I did have a question about. You kind of cleared it up at the end when you said that you are pro black establishment, and I do like the point that you tied in, saying that if things go as planned, not as planned, but in the ideal world, if things were to be the way that they should be, equitable, black establishments won't be as necessary as we really think that they will be, which is a thought that I actually share. If everybody in the perfect world where everybody got treated the same and we didn't have to coexist in this weird caste system that treats you well and determines how many resources and what resources you get access to based off the
Right.
color of your skin and your sexual orientation and shit like that, we wouldn't need these spaces where black people, I don't want to go as far as saying black people are put first, but they're acknowledged as human beings. Why is this a problem? They're acknowledged as human, not bitch. I didn't mean to call her that. Beautiful,
Yeah.
lovely black woman. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
if
like
we
that.
acknowledge that we all human beings on some shit, bro,
Mhm.
like
It's
I feel
weird
like we can
because
move past a lot.
yeah, it's weird because it's like I can acknowledge that the system that we have right now isn't working. Right? It's absolutely not working in our benefit. It's difficult, and this is kind of why I took this stance I took. It's difficult to sit here and say in a fucked up situation that us being under this fucked up socioeconomic climate and saying we're going to make our own shit is actually going to help, because historically speaking, under this same environment, that hasn't been the case. Like, there are institutions that help black people, right? Our HBCUs, community outreach programs. We have shit that help black people. But when I'm talking about black establishments, colleges are included in that, but I am thinking about bigger shit. Like, we're having a lot of conversations about an independent black society, and we have a lot of those conversations when black people are being oppressed in more ways than they can even fucking fathom, right? That makes sense. I get it. Now, I'm not saying that if we, as I get into it, and I'm not gonna get all the way into it, but if we start changing certain things, that black life is just all the way nice. No, I think it's going to be better by far, but then I also think that the ground that we have is now suitable for an establishment to be built and it to actually do what we set out for it to do, for it to accomplish those goals without as much interference.
Mhm.
That's kind of my whole thing. Like, I'm pro black establishment, but then the question is, are we in a place to where we can build a black establishment that is actually going to be benefiting people the way we intended to? Or is it something that we're all gonna pour into just to see another motherfucker kick our sandcastle down? That's kind of what it is. It's like I'm pro it, but I need it to meet a certain criteria first. I need us to do it the right way. Otherwise, I'm kind of just like I don't know if it's worth doing all the way.
That's real. I feel like in order for us, I share a lot of the same sentiments for sure. I feel like in order for us to do it the right way, we have to have those harder conversations. Shit, we got to have those harder conversations. Is what I'm saying.
And honestly, this is a perfect time for you to just go ahead and dip into the pursuit of it.
If we do believe that black establishments are worth pursuing, how we should pursue them, I feel like the first step is to determine whose standards we're kind of setting our goals based off of. I'm not going to get to going and saying like European standards and the way that, we've been doing things is directly reflected, European practices and it's harmful for the black psyche. You feel me? I'm not going to start doing that no matter how true it is because I'll be saying the same thing I always say. But I feel like the first step is informing. I don't want to go as far as saying the masses, but everybody involved of what we're truly up against. I don't think a lot of people really understand, and we kind of underestimate these people a lot because they've allowed us to coexist and play along over like the last 60 years.
That's a great
When
point.
it's actually kind of crazy out here. It has been kind of crazy.
It's a
A
great
lot of
point.
the people who we hear in these spaces don't come from the South. They never lived in the South. They come from these metropolis cities where there's a strong, healthy black community, and the white people that live there have been forced to maneuver around other people. That's
Mhm.
not what you see around this bitch everywhere else. That's not these towns that don't have a ping on the map, that don't got the little black dot. That's
Yeah.
not what it's comprised of, and that's not what those experiences are for the black people there. And I feel like we kind of have to address things in a realistic approach and kind of be willing to meet people where they are at and not be exclusionary. I can't say I see this type of rhetoric a lot amongst, I don't want to say black nationalists, but solely black movements and shit like that, which is great. I love the solely black movements. I don't think everybody should be a part of everything.
Mm.
But again, I feel like we're kind of underestimated what we're really going up against. And because of that, it just becomes harmful for everybody involved when we do approach things from that way. But as far as any other steps, just make sure your heart's in it. You should, what is that shit? Survey the leadership. Really just understand why their heart's in it. And see
Yeah.
if their heart's even actually in it and why they want to be a part of said thing. I almost said be on some Harriet Tubman shit. She was cracking niggas over the head with rocks if they wasn't saying the right shit. But
I ain't
for
mean
real,
oh,
cracking
we
nigga
all
in the
know
head
about
with
her
a boat.
smacking babies.
I was about to say she
Nah,
was
yeah,
murdering
she was
shit.
sleeping babies for sure.
We not getting caught. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Harriet Tubman died 10 years before my granddad was born.
Which is
No, 10
crazy.
years
It's
before my granny
pictures.
was
It's
born.
it's
But my
it's
granny is
pictures.
only 9 years older than my granddad.
It's pictures of Harriet Tubman. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it might be a picture of her in color or some shit.
I'm saying
And
she
niggas
was sitting
was
up
like,
cold as hell.
I'm like,
Yes,
y'all
bro.
done forgot that this shit, like, nigga,
Man,
Ruby
not that
Bridges
long
is still
ago.
alive, bro. Like, she's not that, like, yeah, for sure. Was that the end of your point, or you got
That was the end of
something
my
else you
point
got
as
to get
far as
upon?
how I think we should approach it. I think
Okay.
the key point, or I just say I got three pillars. The first one is understanding. The second one is education, or at least desire to know. I can't go as far as saying learning, but
Yeah.
to know the truth. That's the first step. And then the third step is making sure everybody involved is genuine, is coming from a genuine place. For a lot of these things, like shit, money should not be. I mean, yes, money makes things easier. Shit, if you start a food drive, you got to figure out how you finna get some food. But you don't need $1 million to do a food drive. You
You
could tell
don't.
everybody that's in your community, bro. Like if you got 2 spare cans, you could produce. I'm gonna have my cousin who play jazz come out and perform. and it's
Yeah.
gonna be a little field day for the kids. Like that's some normal feasible shit that could get group participation. And then we have other tools like the internet, face to face, word of mouth conversations, like how they used to do things in the past. I feel
Yeah.
like we're not too far from that.
Mhm.
I think we just need to make sure our hearts are in the right place when we are approaching these things. And unfortunately, we can't make sure everybody's hearts are in the right place, which is the crazy part. But that's all I really have to say on the
Yeah.
topic.
What I did
How would
want
you
to say,
pursue it?
but before I got into that stuff, like drives and everything like that, like that's something that me and Cuz want to actually do
Be a
and
part of
lead
it
by
for sure.
example, and like planning on having shit like that. Like I actually in the Patreon, when the links and everything are attached to the videos, like there's gonna be a tier so you can donate, including to that type of stuff, because we want to do that. Like we know some of y'all got 2-3 cans of cream corn in the damn
Like,
pantry
what
that you're
the
not
hell?
finna eat, bro. So like go ahead and get that, you know what I'm saying, get that out. Like
That may expire
yeah,
2025. It's been
like
there
give
since
it out. You know what
2019,
I'm
my
saying?
nigga. Just give it
Yeah.
to somebody else, bro. Like,
Y'all wouldn't,
yeah.
y'all people I think one thing that a lot of black people don't even realize they have in them is the love and care and attention for other black people. It just seemed like it's something that we turned off. Like you put a black person in the right situation to give to another black person, they'd be more giving than they even thought that they could be, or just another person in general. But we just been playing defensive ball for so damn long that we never actually went out and scored and got a bucket.
Mhm.
You so used to fighting and clawing for everything that you never actually passed the ball and saw what it was like to see somebody score.
While
You know?
also not even getting the opportunity to shoot that bitch for real. But you
Exactly.
scared to pass that bitch to somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that
And
shit crazy.
yeah. But that's aside. So when I was writing to the question how we pursue black establishments, um, I started off in an interesting way. I'm not even gonna lie. And really I wrote this beforehand, but it kind of just ties into it. I think it is no surprise that if we all woke up tomorrow and said we not buying shit that ain't black, we ain't working for people that ain't black, and we only advocating for shit that's black, we go all die within 6 months. We're not gonna last. We don't have the infrastructure for that. Under this current society, we're probably not really gonna get the infrastructure to do that either. You know what I'm saying? Good book, good reads. So
I ain't even gonna say too much.
in
If you know,
order,
you know.
yeah, in order to build these establishments in a way that will actually prove to be beneficial, we have to move to a pro society. We cannot do this shit where we're at right now. Now, Cuz went into his 3 pillars and he went into his steps. I also believe that education is probably the most important first step, because you're not gonna understand some of the shit that we're talking about. I remember the first time that I heard somebody say socioeconomic, I said, "What the fuck is that?" I heard that shit. I heard that shit like in high school. I said, "Huh? I don't even know what the fuck that is." But eventually I started catching on to these concepts, and then I was able to start to get shit. Like you might fall into the trap of, and I'm going on a quick tangent, but you might fall into the trap of black nationalism early. I know I did. I'm pretty sure that Cuz did too, to an extent. And
And they're still there.
yeah, well, we both are in different ways. But like you can fall into it, but then you don't understand certain concepts. You don't understand how deep anti-blackness actually runs, how rampant it is in our own communities. You don't understand that a slick comment that somebody make about the girl that they date and who's a black woman is actually anti-black, or how their entire relationship perpetuates anti-black narratives. You don't start grasping that shit until you do knowledge, until you I said do knowledge.
Do the
Until you
knowledge, nigga.
gain. I'm not doing that shit. Fuck
Do
y'all.
the knowledge, nigga. I'm telling you,
Fuck, I made a mistake.
bro.
Until you
Nah,
start
nigga.
doing research and getting that information, you're not gonna understand. Um, We cannot transfer the whip from white to black and expect change. That is a point that a lot of people in black nationalism forget. A lot of the key and loudest voices when it comes to hotepetry and black nationalists is fucking capitalists that have built the platform from selling niggas courses and all type of bullshit and koofies and all that dumb shit. They're not really the people you should be listening to when it comes to this, because all they doing is saying, well, let's go ahead and switch it, and as soon as the whip get in their fucking hand, they gonna start spanking niggas. Oh, you gay?
Spanking
We
the same
spanking
niggas.
you. Oh, you poor? Oh, we spanking you. Yeah, get the fuck on. We not doing that. We have to make a system where we all can benefit from the work that's being done. If everyone is as pro-black as they say, this shouldn't be an issue. If you're on board to buy black, to love black, to live black, why wouldn't you devote your life to promoting blackness? Anyone who is of the belief that anyone who is of the belief a black society or establishment can survive and reach its full potential under capitalism is naive. A black capitalist society will simply convert from a racial caste system to a class one. Let's say, for the sake of argument, we choose the route of socioeconomic reform and then produce smaller scale black establishments to go along with the society. We'd be eliminating class issues, i.e., changing the economic system of the country, and creating establishments that are pro-racial minorities and protect them from any lingering racial bias. That is a net good. The lessons we learn from building smaller institutions can inform us on how to build a larger one if we deem necessary. And that is, of course, after switching the economic system over. So, the reason why I want to go with that is because this kind of shows you what I mean by I am pro-black establishment, but we need to, yes, and we need to do it in a certain way so we're not actually just switching shit over and we're giving you anti-blackness by black people, because that is fucking possible.
Yeah, that's exactly what it would be.
Oh, you got tired of getting stomped out by the niggas and dockers? Well, wait till niggas in True Religion start really whooping your ass. Like, come on,
niggas
bro.
in Timbs.
Like, that's what I'm saying. And I did.
You could handle the Sperry's. Wait till they bring the Timbs out. Like I'm telling the Black Forces and shit. Is over.
For me, the most important thing to remember is we have to cast out the sickness that is capitalism, that is anti-blackness, all of that. We cannot thrive as a people without first addressing the problems that are in our society and within black culture. We cannot, and let me say this shit again, we can't make a black fucking establishment that works if we're not addressing the anti-blackness in the fucking room. You cannot put yeast in a fucking barrel and be surprised when the whole shit goes bad. You can't do it. You cannot. It's not gonna work. We can't have a free health clinic for black people, and then somebody that's transgender walks in and y'all say, oh, I'm not touching. What the fuck are you doing it for? You're not doing it for black people. You're doing it for people that, yeah, I'm saying you're doing it for a type of people that fit your narrative. Hey, guess what, brother? That's an anti-black narrative. Do y'all niggas ever think that a lot of y'all view on black people comes from white people? Y'all niggas is just black white people. Jay-Z is a black white man. This nigga thinks exactly like a white man. A lot of rich Kanye, that nigga thinks just like a prototypical white man. A lot of y'all do. It's niggas in the hood that think like white men. It's niggas everywhere that think like white men. The shit that bother white people is the shit that be bothering niggas. But the crazy thing is, they niggas themselves, and the shit be nigga shit. You don't like black women putting on makeup. You don't like black women having long nails. You don't like shit within black culture for no fucking reason. Where do you think that shit comes from? The white beauty standard. Y'all niggas be drinking it, and that's gonna be my shit. Y'all drinking the tea, and you're loving it. Nah, fuck it. We not doing milk. We black. Y'all drinking the tea, unsweetened tea and you're loving it. You want to get another sip.
There's better options.
Y'all niggas, I guess, think that y'all are pilgrims and y'all are going to set sails to a new land and you're going to establish a black society there and you're going to have these puritanical beliefs. You're going to bring back the black family dynamic, which was the white family dynamic. Y'all niggas just, for some reason, forgot the whole point that black people stuck together. They couldn't survive on their own. Black and white men have all, black and black men and black women have always worked in unison,
They
nigga,
still do.
and still fucking do. Y'all niggas done took 10 years of prosperity and said that that's how this shit needs to be. How? Nigga, when they was calling y'all mamas mammies, when they was drinking off of y'all mama's nipples, they was getting paid a penny a fucking day, but they was fucking working being nannies. You go, this shit is crazy. Javar, listen, I be trying not to crash out. I know you be saying you trying not to crash out. I crash out against us, bro. Because listen, the same black women that's CNAs right now, that's holding up the healthcare industry, is the same black women that would have been nannies getting paid Nathan. The same niggas that's working at Amazon breaking their backs is the same niggas that would have been sharecroppers making Nathan. Y'all the same niggas, it's the same shit.
It's the
Somehow,
same thing.
some
These
way,
experience transcend the space and time
somehow, some way, niggas forgot. And they started to think, oh, wait a minute. I'm a black woman. I cannot do this. I need to be. Y'all don't even understand how ridiculous that sounds. And I'm not saying this because I want black women to suffer. I swear to this isn't what I want. But I need y'all to understand that historically speaking, black women have been so damn solid that the fact that y'all are diluting y'all power to being a stay-at-home fucking mom, do y'all know y'all history? Do y'all know the shit that y'all did? I'm being honest. I damn near got more women, more black women figures in the civil rights movement that is impactful than the fucking men. We talking about women that got in the field for real. And y'all diluting yourself to what white women got? To being the trad wife? To being in the house just getting pregnant, not doing shit. That's what you go dilute yourself to. Knowing that honestly, if you really wanted to, you could be the first one to burn this motherfucker down and switch it. That's a shame. I'm not going for it. And I mean, we can get on black men too, but I really wanted to say that because that's a perspective I am not hearing. And I don't want y'all to have all the weight on yourself because we got to carry the load too. So I don't want to make this a whole black women got to carry it. I'm not doing that shit because everybody got to carry their fair weight in this shit. But I just don't understand how we lost the fucking plot.
I can tell you how we lost the plot, nigga.
Well, of course we can talk about
Drugs. Drugs.
That's one of them.
They flooded the streets with that shit. And even before then, they were doing intentional systemic things. Redlining, putting highways in your whole neighborhood. Like, this is... Why do you think your parents moved? Not even your parents, your grandparents or your great-grandparents moved from where they was at in the pre-integrated South to move to wherever the fuck you're from. For me, it was Michigan. My family moved from the South to
usually
Michigan.
to Chicago. A lot of niggas went
Chicago
to Chicago
first. Chicago or Gary
then they
first,
went
and then
everywhere.
from there, then they go everywhere else. Iowa, fucking Wisconsin, Michigan.
Iowa's
that's how that
crazy.
shit go.
If
I
your
know
folks
too
went to
many niggas
Iowa-
in Iowa. You fucked
Your
up.
folks, if your folks was Iowa,
played,
they
bro.
was tweaking.
In
They was
Chicago
tweaking.
now, like I know
Man.
a lot of people that came from Iowa that's out here
Hell
in
no.
Chicago. Like, oh, I went to school in Iowa and shit like that, but my mom really from out here, and
Of
now they
course
live in
not.
Chicago now.
Of course
It's
not.
the
You was
same,
in
no.
You was in Waterloo, twin. Of course
That's
not.
crazy.
Of
Waterloo
course
is
not.
crazy, bro.
Hey, look, the Midwest got some nasty places. Iowa,
You ever been
easily
to
the
Nebraska, my
nastiest.
nigga? Omaha, crazy.
Yeah, but
place to be.
Nebraska is
That's
wild.
not really Midwest though, is it? That's damn near actually Midwest, but the Midwest really like Mid-East or
yeah,
some shit.
yeah, it is. It is. It's really like it's not even mid east because if we being geographically correct, mid east would be like Virginia because you got north, south, east, west. Virginia
East is
is
on the
on the
coast though.
coast. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Virginia is on the coast. So if you saying mid east, like you have the southeast, which is like Florida, Virginia would have to be mid east, and then you have northeast, which would have. That's what I'm saying. It actually doesn't make sense per the layout of the country. It
We for
doesn't make
sure
sense.
not west though. We
No,
more
we
east
not.
than west though. That's
We
why
not.
you feel me. That's great. We 2 days away from California right
Yeah, I
now. That's
know.
crazy,
I
bro.
know.
What?
It's bullshit, but
8 hours
um,
that way. We on the East Coast. Yeah.
but anyway, to kind of wrap up this episode, and just kind of wrap up what we're talking about. Do you have any other? Oh wait, no. We have to answer. How long do we think it take to kind of pull off the, I guess, healthy creation of black establishment? When I came up with
I
this,
think.
I of course was thinking about like the black um society or
Yeah.
more smaller black institutions. Kind of answer this in the context of what you um think of as black
An
establishments or what
institution,
come.
a
Yeah,
black
yeah,
establishment. Okay, for sure. Um, how long I think it would take for my perfect ideal one.
yeah.
Would our name being Chocolate in the Sun and all of us trying to find our place underneath the sun? I feel as if it's important to say that the pressure is really, really high right now. And every other historical event that's taken place, every super crazy fucking technological advancement and shit like that, it was crazy shit going on in the world that kind of influenced these changes or advancements. I'll say. Um, I think we're due for an advancement right about now. I'm not sure if we have the clientele. I don't want to go as far as saying clientele, the right participants as of now to make things happen as fast as we need them to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the first step will be burning this bitch down. And I think as more and more people get fed up and like genuinely upset with the way that things are and the conditions that we're working in, like you had said earlier in this call, nigga, the same 5% of people who rely on all of us to be disenfranchised, the same 60% of us to be disenfranchised. It's only a matter of time before more and more of those 60% of people become more and more informed. There's more tools and more resources now than ever. At the same time, there's a lot of misinformation out there too. But
And book burning.
that niggas are burning the book. I'm not gonna get to going, but read a book. If anything, if you don't do anything I say, bro, just read a
Keep
book.
'em.
I swear,
Make
keep
digital
them,
copies.
keep them.
I need to make
copies
more
crazy.
digital copies.
Print
No,
them
fuck
bitches
that.
out. Download the PDF and then just print that bitch out. Double sided. That'll be
Yeah, I
sick.
mean that's a good idea. I'm saying that for a reason, as far as keeping them and then sharing them. Like, actually make digital. I'm being completely honest. I'm gonna say something that I haven't heard anybody else say, but we have the access to do this in a society in a time where they are burning books. Pass that shit on, because if they one of us, I can guarantee you they would say the same fucking thing. Get that shit where it needs to go so a life could be saved. You can continue.
I, but to put a number on things, I'm hoping we lock in over this next 3 years, which is extremely optimistic. But with the way that the world is changing, as far as climate, political climate, socioeconomic climate, everybody's fed up. It's almost like it feels as if we're reaching our boiling point. I'm not sure what that boiling point is going to lead to. Again, historically speaking, these boiling points usually lead to massive changes. Um, over the last 100 years or so, really 500 years, but we're going to say over the last 100 years or so, these changes haven't been leveraged in our favor. I feel as if we were to come together and really realize what we're up against, we could really make something out of nothing here and change the whole trajectory of this bitch. The same nigga that's shaking hands with the president right now is the same nigga building robots. I think it's important to say that we do have access to a never sleeping, always awake and sentient computer that everybody has access to for free. I feel like we could use this tool in our favor to solve issues like global warming, hunger, XYZ. There's just smaller issues that have been strategically put in place to keep people divided, whether that's differences in religion, differences in fucking sexual orientations and beliefs as far as how people should present themselves or express themselves outwardly, which I think is unfair. Um, but that's kind of where we are as a society, and we're due for a change. Like Cuz was saying, bro, where do you think you got these thoughts from? These ideas. These are white man thoughts on some crazy
For
shit.
sure.
Like you all sound more and more like white men, which is I hate to say it like it's a terrible thing,
Yeah.
but it's kind of a terrible thing if you're a black person, bro.
Yeah.
Especially considering the historical context of shit.
Mhm.
And these people used to eat you. These people used to eat you. Like
Use
hang
your
you
teeth.
up. Literally, they used to hang they used to hang you up, take
Make you
pictures of
fuck
it.
for entertainment.
Talk about make you fuck for entertainment. They're fucking you for entertainment, like on some crazy shit. They're publicly
Breeding you.
fucking you. Not even breeding you. An unbreedable human. A man. They humiliating you in front of everybody else, so everybody else is subservient and listens to you. There's some niggas I can't even. There's some people I would tell you to look up, and it's gonna make your stomach turn. But I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna save that for a different episode when I get to really criticizing them folks. How I need to get to criticizing them folks. But yes,
Yeah.
nigga, I'm not even gonna get to going. I'm gonna let Cuz do what he do. How you feeling about it? How long you think it'll take?
Man, it's gonna take as long as you do. And when I say you, I mean the listener. It's gonna take until you start putting one foot in front of the other, until you start doing those small things. There's never been a time in history to where one person, I don't give a damn what your history book with that fucking white man dressed as a pharaoh tell
That
you.
shit was crazy. Oh my god. We have the same book. It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
It
bro.
don't
Fuck
matter
Miss
what
Ward.
that book tell
Fuck
you.
Mary Margaret. Fuck, I'ma chill.
It don't
bro. I'ma
matter what
chill.
that book tell you. Martin Luther King did not die for your sins. Martin Luther King did not do everything in the civil rights movement. When you start advocating for yourself, when you start fighting for your rights, when you go outside and you say, I'm doing something today to make tomorrow better, that is when the clock starts going down. But until then, we not counting no time. Crazy thing about what Cuz was saying is when it comes to the pressure that we living in right now. I remember I was watching a video by Innuendo Studios, who has like this whole alt-right playbook thing. Shout out to them. And it was the video where he was talking about the South Bank of the Rubicon. That also had Philosophy Tube in it. Shout out Abigail. You know what I'm saying? Might throw her on it. She's yeah, we rock Abby. And he was basically just talking about how now we are in a worse place than what we were years ago. But to some extent, it kind of just seems like it happened. Well, that's not true. There has always been things happening where somebody has stepped on your rights in an egregious way. And something that I'm going to say is a call to action specifically to black people, because that video was made by a white person. And sometimes y'all aren't good at receiving information from white people that are pro everybody. I'm going to have to say this shit right now.
I'm niggas.
Oh God, you niggas.
I'm niggas.
Sit with
I usually
yourself.
don't be trying to listen.
I know. Sit with yourself. And right now, let me reframe this so I can make this a clip. My advice to all black people over these next couple of years, next couple of weeks, next couple of days, months, is write down something that has to happen for you to say, I can no longer live in a society like this. Write down what your last straw will be as a human, as a black person, and say, if this ever happens, I am running into the streets and I am making change. Write it down. Because you know what I hate to say? It might happen.
That should already done happen, probably.
But
If
listen,
you really think about it.
it might have. But there's no point in going back because guess what? Everything that didn't happen up till now, all that bullshit, that's our truth. That's our reality. And some of y'all still comfortable. So what I'm telling you, why I'm saying this and why Innuendo said this is because at some point you have to say, this is too far. The shit that he doing, he took from the Germans. You know what I'm saying? I believe they used to call it Blitzkrieg. I might be wrong by the name of it, but basically
Step
the
by step
Germans,
playbook.
what they used to do is they used to just go and bomb shit. They'd go and bomb the fuck out of a place. And they do so much shit so fast, you couldn't even do nothing about it. You was just in awe. And it's happening with these executive orders. And it's happening in the legislative branch. And I don't want to get too much into Dr. Dickhead and what he got going on. But I'm telling you, as a black person in this country, you have to get to a point to where you can say, once this line is crossed, I can no longer be on my ass and I have to do something. Now, it's a shame we got to do that in the first place, but some of y'all is going to be real comfortable until that fire get up under that ass directly, and then you go start to try to run and nah, you know what I'm
Too
saying?
late.
When you see a building, when you see smoke, you need to get the fuck out the building. Y'all niggas is waiting until it's a fire and you on the 7th floor. And I hate to say it, but as we go get into some of these later topics, you're going to have to understand that with us, sometimes the only option we get when it get like that is to die. Why? Is our options to die or to suffer? Because we didn't take the time to build the infrastructure to save us. They're not going to do it. They don't
I was
give a
about to say,
fuck
I
to
can't
do it.
put the blame on us, though.
And listen, but this is why I'm saying, and we go have to end this because this a whole nother thing.
For sure.
The reason why I'm saying that is because we, as me and you, or other people watching this that's educated, we know what they done did. We know that they done gave us all type of shit and all type of sicknesses and fucked up our communities. But that's not solving the issue. We know what they did. We're still finding ourselves in this situation. They're not going to help us. And then kind of to the point of black establishments, if we are going to be building these things to protect us, then we need to start making steps toward that today. Not when the ground is fucking decimated and now niggas is confused and saying, whoa, we need to start doing some shit. Start today. Don't wait until the education department is completely obliterated and there are no books on our history to start trying to teach your kids black history. You wait until then, you done fried your fucking self and your family. I'm just telling you now. Start today. Start walking towards where you need to get to today. That's it.
Start yesterday, my nigga.
For real. That's
What the
it.
fuck?
I'm
I've been
done.
saying read since 2022.
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah,
Start with
y'all got to get
Parable
off of. Y'all got to get. I
It's
understand
them
it.
fucking phones.
I understand it. We live in a time where entertainment is king, and facing shit like this sucks. You want to sweep it under the rug? It's a fucking burden, bro. It's a burden. But y'all niggas must want to go back to getting beat in the fucking streets. If it take niggas getting beat in the streets again for y'all to really start trying to learn more, trying to work harder.
March 8th, 2025. They talk about right now in this bitch. Read this bitch. Bitch. Parable of the Sower. Octavia Butler. She one of the ones.
Yeah.
That's
But anyway,
y'all got enough
I'm done.
information.
I done got my point off. Cuz you got anything you want to add?
Read, nigga, read. Outside of that, stay black. Give yourself grace, but not too much grace, bro. We've been sitting on our ass for too long, bro. My parents, even shit, they parents' generations didn't do too much to make a change around this bitch. I feel as if we don't have enough time to to not make a change around this bitch. I think we're spiraling towards fascism. If we're going to be totally honest, hate to be on some
We're
Debbie
already
Downer
there.
shit, but yeah, we've been there for a
We've been
while.
there.
This is like a fucking comic book without any fucking superheroes. The nigga that's building
Been there.
robots is shaking hands with the president. The nigga
Oh,
that's
we're-
building robots is shaking hands with the president. On
We're
top
in
of
the
that,
oligarchy now.
we're in a dystopian novel now. Fuck an oligarchy, my nigga.
We
And
was
then
in
on top of that,
fascism. Go ahead.
there's a computer that does not go to bed. It does not sleep. It's constantly computing shit. It's a computer that computes shit. Misinformation could be at its all-time finest. They're burning books. I'm not saying read for no reason. They've been burning books for quite a while. And then on top of that, they're burning books and you niggas were already not reading the books. So it's like a double damn almost. So it's really like just pick up a book for real. If you were to start, I feel like a good one to pick up is this one, especially considering the topics that we talked about today. She goes over this extremely well throughout the entirety of this book. It talks about her time being on trial after being wrongfully convicted of killing a cop, robbing a bank, and they said she murdered somebody else, but she ended up escaping. But it's like a whole little autobiography about her, and each chapter is like one from her childhood, and then her time on trial for each of the cases and shit, and like what her life was like in prison. It was kind of crazy, bro.
Because
And
when we go,
damn, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. Fuck.
Okay.
Damn, I'm sorry.
You fine?
Nigga, these experiences, like Cuz was saying, bro, the same lady that's a CNA right now is probably the same lady that would have been a wet nurse fucking 50, 60 years ago or some shit. Our experiences are so unique that they trans fucking send the space and time continuum, bro. Your experiences are not that different from that of your grandparents. With that being said, the circumstances have not changed that much. And even them, your grandparents, their circumstances weren't that different from their grandparents. We're just not paying attention like that. Unfortunately, we live in a space where we have to worry about, damn, how am I going to get this food tomorrow? Instead of, dang, it's been a long game that's constantly being played to make sure that these 5% of people continue and maintain the same power that they've had over the last 500 years. And that's really what me and Cuz are kind of trying to say and bring attention to. The revolution won't be televised. That shit might fuck around and be recorded on this bitch. And that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, the idea I have that we can do going forward is probably have a book club. I think it'd be cool if we did that. You know, we can do that and actually bring some people in because as much as I want to sit here and say everybody should read, I am very aware of how horrible our education system is and how a lot of y'all will probably need to be guided into some of these books, into some of these ideas and theories. So that's just something I thought about as Cuz was talking, because that might actually be a good way to get y'all some of this information so y'all can at least have some idea
Book a month. I
of
got
what
the
be
first 12.
actually go on. It's a lot that I could say. It's a lot that I want to say. I feel like where we are right now, we're comfortable in discomfort. We have forgot the point that the work that was done during the civil rights movement was never supposed to stop. It did get stopped for a lot of different reasons, but now is the time that we pick it back up. Now is the time you start talking to your grandparents and great grandparents and trying to get that game and get that understanding and bring that fire back. Because a lot of them have been through some shit that you don't want to go through. And there's no point in us all reverting back to where they was and then being confused on why the fuck that we get there. Because I'm be honest with you, if they start whooping on niggas, it's gonna be an issue for me. I'm gonna really start. Yeah, it's gonna be that.
I'm probably gonna die.
For real. So, anyway, this has been us from Chocolate in the Sun. And if you don't know why we call the show Chocolate in the Sun, it's because if you black, your skin complexion probably to some extent resemble chocolate. And like chocolate in the sun, we all do melt and conform in some way to the material conditions of our society due to the amount of pressure and heat that is put on us. However, That doesn't mean that you cannot be a treat to the people around you. That doesn't mean that you can't be sweet and loving to your neighbor. Um, that's basically the gist of the acronym, just of the metaphor. It's a beautiful metaphor. We want y'all to refer to yourself as chocolate in the sun, refer to the people around you as chocolate in the fun, and just remember that you can still be an asset to other people. You can still be nice to other people despite all the bullshit that we got going on. Yeah, it's gonna make you fucking angry. I wake up angry every day. I know cuz do too. When you really start to unpack this shit and learn about this shit, it actually pisses you the fuck
It's
off
enraging.
on
It's never
so
gonna.
many levels. You get a shorter circuit with everybody, not just white people, not just other minorities, but black people and even yourself. Despite this, I need y'all to be safe, to be loving, to be nurturing, to look out for each other. We go holler at y'all in the next one. It's been Chocolate in the Sun, talking about the black establishment. We out.